Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Gigi Show, the only show that seeks to educate, motivate and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. My name is Sandra Oates and today I'm here with Lady Samuela Ba. She is a coach and an expert. Today we have an interesting conversation that will wow you and more reason why you have to stay glued to this channel.
Samuela Ba is a passionate finance and accountability coach committed to helping low to middle income earners break free from financial cycles that keep them stuck. Through practical and faith-informed guidance, she empowers individuals to develop simple and personalized finance systems that lead to real sustainable wealth. She combines budgeting, saving, investing, and mindset shifts to equip her clients with the tools to take control of their money rather than be controlled by it. Her coaching emphasizes consistency and stewardship, helping everyday people turn limited income into generational wealth.
Lady Samuela, you're welcome to the Gigi Show.
Thank you, Sandra.
It's actually a pleasure seeing you
Yes,
today.
it's a pleasure. We could finally do this.
Yes, I'm really glad we are doing this.
Yes, me too.
Can you tell us something about yourself?
Okay, so I am a personal finance and stewardship coach, and my passion lies with helping everyday people. So basically, low to middle income earners particularly, to manage their finances in a manner that actually helps them to build wealth, not just dream about wealth, but actually practically build wealth. And so that's what I do, yes, and I love it.
Wow. It's so clear you love what you do. How long have you been coaching?
I would say that officially, I would say that it's about 5 years and some months. But I've been doing this quite a while, even without knowing that what I was doing was necessarily coaching. Yes, and so it is through discovering the impact that my coaching was making that I went ahead to be certified. Right? Yes, and so maybe officially I would say 5 years.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, know that you are listening from the mouth of a certified coach. So I want to know, what inspired you to be a financial coach?
Okay, I think that's interesting. My story started off with seeing my uneducated grandmother and my barely educated mother take what they had, you know, striving to find relevant knowledge to better their financial state, because they didn't have so much of an education, but striving to better their financial state through finding relevant knowledge and then applying the knowledge that they have to actually build a life that was comfortable for me, my sister, and the rest of the family. And that inspired me to actually take responsibility of my own personal finance. Now, in the process of doing that, I noticed that people would come to me and ask me, how are you doing it? How are you making it? We all have probably the same amount of money as students, but you seem to be doing better off. So I would find myself giving advice without even thinking about it, you know. This is what I am doing, and this is what you can do. And I noticed that that also worked. So after a while, after this increased demand for how are you doing this? How are you moving from point A with your finances and then where you are now, which looks admirable. After COVID, I had a group of women, young ladies who were around, who decided that they wanted to take control over their finances after what COVID did, right? And that's how the whole coaching community was birthed, and that's how I also knew that I needed to pursue certification so that I could better help those young women. And so that's really what drove me into coaching.
Your story is really inspiring. I see the excitement in your tone. I want to know, what do you enjoy most about your work?
What I enjoy most is the transformation I see on a daily basis. You know, just before the show, I was sharing with you a student who could not save a pesewa. And then she wrote out a 7-point testimonial without me asking her, how she's now saving, she has investments, and she's watching what she actually spends her money on, something she thought she could never do at the beginning of the year. Now seeing people move from point A to point B to point C, that knowing that they can overcome their natural inertia not to achieve their financial dreams is what gives me joy. And I've seen that happen over and over again over the past 5 years.
Wow.
That's the joy.
I'm really marveled to see the joy in your tone and all of that. I'm wondering that what is financial independence to you being an expert, and how important is it?
Yes, this is a good question, because financial independence may vary from person to person, because we are all unique and we are on a unique financial journey. My income is not your income.
Not
right?
at all.
Exactly. My dreams are not your dreams. So for me personally, financial freedom, and I think that it can be generalized as well, is not a number that if I attain 1 million Ghana cedis, I am at financial freedom or financial independence. What it really is financial freedom. That I have freedom, not because I am coerced, not because I have fear of lack, but I have freedom to make decisions and follow after my dreams without having to be limited by the need to make money to survive. That's independence. It is freedom to make choices. People ask this question: what would you do if you didn't need to make money? Have you heard people say that?
Yeah.
They said, I definitely wouldn't be doing this job. Some say I'll be at the Bahamas, I'll be in the Maldives. It's not all about entertainment. Me, it meant being at home to be able to care for my toddlers, watch them grow, be present for them. That was financial. That's one of the motivations for me. And so financial independence meant that being free from anything that prevented me from being present for them. Right?
Wow.
Yes. So like I'm saying, it varies, but the catchword for me is freedom. Freedom to make your choice without the fear of lack, without the fear of ending up in poverty, right? Without the coercion of having to be at a workplace or having to do something for money. If you had another choice, you would have chosen otherwise.
Yeah.
It means choices, being free to make choices. That resonates with you.
Okay.
Yes.
From what you're saying, it seems to me you agree with the saying that financial independence is being able to afford for what you want at a particular time.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can afford to stay home with my children without thinking that I won't be able to provide for them.
Wow.
Yes. At that time, that season of my life, I can afford it. It's not even about money, right? It's more than money.
Yeah. If you are still listening to us, I want you to put in the comment section, check your current status. Are you financially free? Are you able to afford what you want at a particular time? Put that in the comment section. I want to know. Lady Samuela, I'm really enjoying our conversation today and actually learning a lot. I'm curious to know that what method do you use in coaching? Is it a one-way fit or per individual?
Okay, so because coaching is not training or teaching, it is actually adapting life skills or principles to a unique individual. Essentially, I would say that because I handle a large community as well as personalized one-on-one coaching, I use a hybrid method.
Okay.
Yeah, so in my communities, coaching communities, we have a structured roadmap where people would follow through. It's fixed through at least 12 months. But in it is space for personalization. So I have one-on-one moments with those who need extra help. They actually take personalized tests so that we can group them into smaller departments and then actually provide coaching that meets their personalized needs. So I use a hybrid approach because I run both a community and then I also offer a few personalized one-on-one coaching.
Okay, perfectly answered. Yeah. Have you coached any prominent person, and how did you make that person financially secured?
Okay, that's interesting. I've coached prominent people. I have coached entrepreneurs and professionals.
Okay.
Yes, and there are people who, for example, an entrepreneur that I have coached, her business numbers were doing great, but her personal numbers were crying out for help. I mean, her personal finance numbers were crying out for help. Yes, so obviously she's a brand and everyone knows her out there, but behind closed doors, it was beautiful to watch that the same energy she puts in her business, on her entrepreneurial journey, could be converted into placing systems, personal finance systems in place that will help her to come out of the cycle of hand to mouth, because she takes money, she spends all waiting for the next money, right? But we built a system together that helped her to move from that hand to mouth cycle to actually building wealth, which includes a solid savings, investments, not for just herself, but also her children. And that was beautiful to watch. That was beautiful to see. Yeah, so yeah, I've been privileged to be recommended to a few prominent people, and I've loved what has come out of our coaching sessions.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're actually watching the video and enjoying, be a part of this family. Subscribe, like, and leave us a comment in the comment section. And if you're an entrepreneur or considering entrepreneurship, this conversation is the right one for you. Now, I want us to zoom into the aspect of investment. What are some friendly investment options you coach people on?
Okay, so at this moment, I have to put out a disclaimer. This is not investment advice.
Okay.
This is just me sharing options that are available, right?
Okay.
So I would first say that you can consider low-risk investments like treasury bills, right? Then maybe if you're a bit adventurous, you can look at mutual funds.
Okay.
And then lastly, I would suggest stocks. Yes, so these three would be the basic starting points for anyone who would want to start investing today.
Okay. Adventurous and people like to take risks.
Yes,
Okay.
basically, yes.
How would you explain stocks, mutual funds, and bonds to a lay person?
Okay, that's a good follow-up question. So let's look at stocks. Stocks is like buying a piece of a company.
Okay.
So think of pizza.
Okay.
So the pizza is a whole pizza. It's a circle, but it's divided into little portions that
Yeah.
everyone can
Take
a
and
little.
slide. Yeah.
Awesome. So that's the picture stocks should give you.
Okay.
You and I can buy a piece of the entire company and then become sort of like a part holder in that company. So I can buy a little piece of MTN instead of running a whole MTN, which I have no expertise for.
Yeah.
I can take a piece of it by buying it with my money. Then I become part owner of it, alongside many other people who are eating the pizza with me.
Sure.
Great.
That's awesome.
Great.
This is a very simple explanation, but very brilliant. I like your...
Love it. Yes, I love the response because I don't want it to be complicated.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
us to not think it's above our heads, because that's discouraging for some people.
Yeah. And for the explanation you just gave, even a primary student would be able to understand.
That's
Yeah.
my aim.
Yeah, buying
That's
a
my
part
goal.
of something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, just
That's
a
really
little
brilliant.
piece.
That's really brilliant.
So mutual funds then will be that we have pooled together funds. Mutual. Something is mutual to, we have a mutual friend.
Okay.
It means you and I have something in common.
Yeah.
And that common person is a friend. So mutual means you and I and some other people have come together to pool their funds together. And then these funds are being managed by an expert who is investing it in areas that will bring profits to our money. So instead of me going out there and putting all of my money into something that might fail, you and I and another group of people will put our monies together. Someone called a fund manager would take care of our monies, see that it is multiplying by investing it into different areas that are profitable so that we can have profits on our money.
Wow.
That's a mutual fund.
Would you consider mutual funds to have low risk?
So I would say that it has higher risk than, let's say, treasury bills.
Okay.
Because treasury bills would come somewhere under bonds, which I'm going to explain.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's a bit riskier. And this year, our community delved into mutual funds a lot because we noticed that the Ghanaian landscape from a KPMG report are averse to mutual funds. However, mutual funds is very rewarding, but it's a bit riskier than the traditional treasury bill type investments.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that there's no investment that is risk-free. In fact, going to school is an investment and came with risk. Some people went to school and caught COVID.
Wow.
So there's nothing that is without a level of risk, right? Yes. So we encourage that if you are a bit more adventurous, mutual funds will be a bit more rewarding than the traditional basic treasury bills that we all know. Most people know treasury bills in Ghana. Yes. Per KPMG's report as well.
Okay.
And then lastly, we'll talk about bonds.
Yes.
And so bonds, this is a term used to describe you and I loaning money to governments, basically. Then government takes your money, works with it, and then pays you interest on your money. So that seems safe because government is going nowhere. The worst is that the government has been changed. One political party is now in government and then the other is not. But government is almost there as long as we have a democratic Ghana. So you are loaning money to government and then government is paying you back an interest after they have used your money in certain investments.
Wow.
Is it clear?
Very clear.
Awesome.
I feel you have a unique way of breaking complex things down.
Wow.
Yeah, and myself, I'm not used or I'm green to these words. When it comes to stocks, it makes my head so big. When it comes to mutual funds, I'm like, this is not for me.
Wow.
So yeah,
I love it.
I'm really learning a lot and actually enjoying our conversations. So if you're also enjoying the conversation, leave us a comment in the comment section and become a big part of this family. If someone wants to start investing, how did they go about, or what would you advise? And what are some common mistakes you can tell us to avoid? Yeah.
Okay. It's very important. Now that we're talking about bonds and stocks, one of the first things I advise anyone who is starting out is start now. The best time to have planted an oak tree was 20 years ago. And the best time to start investing is now. So how do you start now? The first thing you should do is to make sure that you have relevant knowledge. I'm not saying that go and join your friend and be scammed. I'm saying that start now by finding relevant knowledge for your journey. It will help you define your goals. What do I really want? You know, you ask those pertinent questions. What do I really want? And what do I need to know in order to get to where I want to go to financially? Then I would say start small. It's better to start with 50 cedis every month than to go and find 50,000 Ghana cedis and not know what to do with it. So find relevant knowledge, start small, and then gradually increase your investments over the years. What you should avoid doing is looking for a quick, get-rich-quick scheme. I invested today and then tomorrow I want to see 10,000 cedis and interest, and if it's not that, it's not worth it. That's not how wealthy people think. We understand consistency and patience because wealth is not built overnight. So avoid that. Also avoid putting all your eggs in one basket, aka not diversifying. So all of your monies in life is just in one investment. That's problematic. And we saw that when debt exchange came up with a few challenges in the past governments. I don't want to go into that, but people who already were investing and had all their monies in one place took a very big hit with their investments, because you should know that every investment is risky. So you diversify. Some investments must be in other places as well as not just sitting in a bank somewhere waiting for you. Yeah, so I think that I would advise that we are avoiding these mistakes, but we are doing the first three things I mentioned. Starting now, finding relevant knowledge, and then starting small. Don't wait for a huge amount to start. I think there were 4, and then remaining consistent over the years.
Wow. I really appreciate the fact that you've highlighted these key words again, the 4 aspects you gave. That's really nice of you.
It's my pleasure, actually.
Yeah. There's this question I want to ask, and it seems a bit normal, but I'm looking at someone watching this video and asking him or herself, is it really important? So I really want you to highlight on the reason or how important is investment. Why should we invest?
Okay, it's a good question. Why don't I put my money under the pillow?
Yes.
Why don't I dig the ground and just put it in and have peace of mind? Because the banks are even thieves.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed. Well, you would notice that we went to the market. I went to the market maybe in February with an amount of money. And from February till now, the same amount of money doesn't get me the same amount of goods or food stuff that I want.
Not at all.
Yes. So what's happening is that inflation, this is called inflation. Inflation is reducing the value of the money over time. What investment does is that it gives you the opportunity through a system called the compounding interest. But I'll float that. I'll come back to it. Investment gives you the opportunity to stay ahead of that inflation. It multiplies your money so that 500 cedis, for example, that you took to the market in February, if it were in an investment, it's not still 500 cedis. It has multiplied a little bit so that it can meet up with the inflation. So you put in 500 cedis, but now you need 530 cedis to get the same amount of goods. Investment gives you that 30 cedis extra.
Wow.
So that your 500 cedis is what you put in, but now you have 530 to get the amount of goods or food stuff that you originally needed from February, but now you are in June and cannot get it with only 500 cedis. So investment helps you to stay ahead of inflation. How does it do this? Your money that you have put in investments would begin to give birth to another money, which is called the interest. Then that interest as well would also earn more money. So unlike, let's say, probably a simple savings account, which has barely any interest, it's almost negligible for most savings accounts. Investment allows your money to give birth, to get more money, to make more money. And then the more money you have made is also making more money.
Wow.
Yes, and that's why we should consider investment and not just putting our monies in a bag somewhere in our room.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never considered investment, Lady Samuela Bah has given you more than enough reason to consider that. You made mention of compound interest. I'm curious to know, what is compound interest and how does it help to build wealth over time?
So I just want to show you a perfect illustration,
Okay,
right,
sure.
of why compound interest will build wealth over time, and that it is powerful than putting your money under the pillow.
Yes.
So this is a calculation that I have done
Okay.
for, let's say you have 500 CDs, and then in
Okay.
year one, you put 500 CDs in an investment account that has an interest rate of 10%.
Okay.
10% is low. In fact, you can have a better interest rate for
wow.
some investment accounts. But let's take the barest minimum, let's say 10%. If you look at it, by the close of year 5, if you look at this, what do you think?
Year 5, you have 805.26, right?
Ghana cedis.
Wow.
And this is money that just sits in an investment account. You never added to it. You never checked up on it. It just sat there for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you have 800 plus Ghana
Yes.
cedis from 500 cedis.
Wow.
I think that money could have become Gary and beans easily.
Yeah, so this is 500 cedi. Imagine it was a bigger money, like 10,000. It means, wow.
So I don't want to talk too much because the interest on your money is also gaining interest.
Wow.
And so that's where the compounding effect comes. It's not just the money gaining interest.
Wow, 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 wow. This is very, very insightful. I've also heard of simple interest. What is simple interest?
Awesome. So you see that simple interest is what it is, simple. The money gains interest and it ends there.
Okay.
But what investment does is that it gives you the opportunity for compound interest. So if it was 500 CDs in the first year at 10%, you would gain 550 CDs. That's your 10% interest. And that would have been the end of your 500 CDs. All you would have gone for if it was simple interest for an investment was 550 CDs. Now compare the fact that compounding allows you to make interest on the interest, the 50 CDs, in addition to the 500 CDs. That's why if you calculate it logically, using simple interest, we won't arrive at 802 after 5 years.
Not at all.
Aha. But the compounding allows you to compound the interest. And simple interest means your one-time simple interest on the money. And so that's the difference. I don't know if it's clear.
Very clear.
Awesome.
Very clear. Very clear.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for that powerful explanation on the most powerful compound interest. I'm really enjoying our conversation, and I hope that my audience are enjoying as well. I mean, it has been a very insightful episode, and I'm actually glad I'm doing this. Yes, I'm sure by the end of this year, I will call giving a very big testimony.
I can't wait.
Sure. Thank you so much for doing the work of God. Yeah.
Yes, love it. Any day, anytime.
Sure. What advice will you give to young people, especially young girls who want to take control of their finances and be financially secured?
It's important to me, especially the brackets that you are focusing your question on, young
girls
as well as females. I would say that don't wait till you have a large amount of money. If you cannot manage 100 CDs, you cannot manage 1,000, you cannot manage 10,000. Don't wait till you have made lots of money. In fact, you will never make lots of money because of your poor money habits. Start from somewhere. And today we talked a lot about investment. Start where you are and find relevant knowledge and start today. And start small. And that should save you from wanting to make a lot of money before. Because young people, we are all now starting off in life and we think that investing is for wealthy, older people. I think that it is young people who were wise enough to start early that can now be referred to as older, wealthy people. So start today. Start now, start small. Yes.
What resources would you recommend to someone who wants to start investing and take charge of their finances?
I would. My all-time favorite would be The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Richest Man in Babylon tells a story, but while it's telling the story, it gives you all the principles of money making and money management and wealth multiplication, right? So maybe you don't like reading, but you need knowledge. So I would say that look out for The Richest Man in Babylon, because it tells a story, but while they are telling stories, they are bringing out important personal finance lessons that you need to know. So books, but then example, The Richest Man in Babylon. The other one would be The Smart Money Woman. I particularly like the first edition. A lot, for women particularly, yes. A lot of the things that bother Africans and the Ghanaian woman particularly is addressed in that book, while telling a story and also bringing out the essential financial principles that will help you manage and multiply money. Yes. Then I would also encourage you or anyone else listening to join a community.
Okay.
Yes, like our community.
Yeah.
Unashamedly, you are in our community.
Yes, I'm a proud member.
And it is. We used to bombard our members with daily personal finance information that can help better their finances. And then we even ran a poll, and then they said we should do it 3 times. So this is how committed we are.
Yeah.
So now we are down to 3 times in a week. However, community helps you to keep your goal in front of you.
Okay.
That daily reminder from the community. And then you're also surrounded by like-minded people who are reacting to posts. You know, you have opportunity to DM the community manager if you need further help, right? So that's our free community. And then that's also where we delve deeper into investment on our paid community. And we've been running a promo for some time now.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to join. It's a commitment of just 50 cedis so that you stay committed to the program.
Yes.
And it's really nothing. And there we have a team of members who are financial advisors. We have a financial advisor, we have a stock broker, we have a chartered accountant, like anything that can help your life, your personal finance to be better. We have come together as a team, and then we are guiding people to make responsible decisions around their personal finance. So make sure that your community, whether it's our community or any other community, is driving you to your goal for personal wealth. Don't join the people who are always drinking and eating and spending their money on weekends and saying that we will not die because of what we will just. Let's not be those kinds of people. Yes, so I would say find a community that spurs you towards your goal for financial independence as well. Yes. Then podcasts. I personally love the Dave Ramsey Show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Christian, he's Christian. I like that his principles border biblically and then help you to make a more biblical decision than just spending the wealth on yourself. Me. So there's a balance. You make wealth to also help others. So podcasts like that can also help you, since we're in the podcast age.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would personally recommend her community because I'm a member. I see the great work they are doing, and it's amazing. I've personally have a different mindset shift joining the community, and I realized that money is actually a very important topic to talk about in the home, in school, even in marriage, like in relationship. So we shouldn't shy away from such conversations. So I will recommend her community. It will be put or placed in the description section as well as in the comment section for anyone to get access to it. And I also want to know, how can one join your coaching cohort?
Basically, we run free webinars month on month. So you can follow me on any of my social media handles so that you can know when the notification goes up for the next. It is through those free webinars that those who have understood what we have shared and are eager to actually join a community are able to transition beautifully. So Samuel Aba on all, majorly Facebook and then LinkedIn. Yes. And I'm sure that once we are running a free webinar, you will be able to join us and then make a very thorough decision to join the free the cohorts, the next cohorts per the month that you are joining. Yes.
Sure, sure. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a very open-minded person and very welcoming. She's most active on LinkedIn and Facebook. So check her out and you wouldn't regret. You made mention of staying focused on your goal. And to you, is it consistency or focus?
I would say both.
Wow.
Yes, because focus actually helps you to be consistent. When you see the end goal in mind, then you know that I'll take a few steps every day. So when I gave birth, I needed to lose some weight, right? And the focus is that's the body that I wanted. But what kept me going was the focus. But I kept going. That's the consistency. I kept at it. I kept putting in my steps and my workouts until I arrived at the destination I was looking at. So I'll say combine both. Set a clear goal. That's your focus. That will drive you to continually be consistent.
If I was a prophet, I would have said that I had heard from God for you to put all your experiences and your thoughts together and give us a very beautiful, powerful book. But maybe I'll leave that to you for you to hear from God yourself.
Wow.
And we would actually be expecting that maybe some years to come. But I just hope that this beautiful insights and wisdom you've shared with us will be put or documented for generations to come.
Wow.
This is no doubt that this is a very powerful woman of God, full of insight and wisdom. It has been a very lovely conversation with you. I'm so glad I met you.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. You are lovely. You are doing an awesome work with Girl Genius Foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, I joined without cohesion myself. I said what you are doing is good. So I think it was later you realized I joined your community. Please join the Girl Genius Foundation. They are transforming lives, and that's what we are all about. So thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and a privilege.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you really enjoyed our conversation, become part of this family, subscribe, like, and leave us a review in the comment section. Until then, see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.